Good afternoon, Twin Flame, Twin Souls, Fated Connections, Soulmates. This is Brainy Twin Gemini for your video December 15th, 2019. First and foremost, I want to thank you all so much for the love, the likes, the subs, the sense of community on my channel. It really warms my heart, and I love you all so much. I love the way you support each other on my channel and how you support each other with all the love, and it really does warm my heart, and I just want to thank you so much. As many of you know, I channel, sorry, that was my laptop dying. I channel all my energy in my journal every day. I did it specifically this morning, but I'm fairly busy. I've got, I work full time. I've got some important projects I'm working on, and plus I've been doing some shopping, some gift shopping. So when I get out into crowds, large crowds of people, I take on the energy of many people. And this time of the year, people are just crazy. They're just, it takes me some time hours actually to get rid of that energy. So, I've had to meditate and get rid of the negative energy that I was coming across today. But I'm over it now, which is great. And I wasn't going to do a video, but when I was up meditating, ridding myself of that negative energy, something just drew me to do a video today because so much has happened in the last few days. And I feel they're very important messages for you. As I said, I have a gift, and my gift is, to deliver these gifts back and to give these gifts back to you. So over the last several days, like I said, there's been some crazy energy. Sorry about my laptop there. Some crazy energy. And yeah, and I'll go over that in a second. But I want to go over the signs and syncs that I've seen in the last, couple of days that I find are I feel that are very significant to you. And yeah, so I'll just go over them now. There's some, just go over the times here. Sorry, where did I write this down? Okay. So I seen 7-11, 10-10, 5-5-5. I saw 7-17 twice, 1-11, and 11-11. So as you know, 11-11 is very significant on this journey. It's a very important sync. You see this at the beginning of your journey, and you generally see it a lot before you come into physical unity. When you're doing the work, you don't generally see the number that often. So you see it as a kind of, at the beginning of the journey, you see it like daily. You don't take much note to it, to be quite honest. And then, the divine wants you to notice this number. And then you notice the number, then you start researching it. Then you start seeing crazy signs and syncs every single day. And these signs and syncs are, to nudge you, to let you know that the love that, there's this freaky stuff happening. Yeah, this happens every day. But anyways, yeah, it's just to nudge you, because you have this inner knowing that you have this love that you've never felt before. So it nudges you to, do some research and kind of figure out where this love stems from. So that 1111 is a very profound number. One song that, I heard this morning when I was journaling was by Metallica, and Nothing Else Matters. So if you have a chance, read the lyrics to that song. Beautiful song. Love it so much. So that's that. Okay, there's a few things that I've seen in the last couple of days. So I saw a rainbow. And the crazy thing about this rainbow is it didn't rain. So I was driving home from work, and it was sunny, and I was close to getting home, and I was looking out, just kind of looking at the sky, looking at the clouds or whatever, and I saw this rainbow in between the clouds. And I'm like, how is that even possible? So I thought maybe it was my sunglasses, because my sunglasses were tinted. And so I took my thankfully it was there was a stoplight there. I took my glasses off, and I looked again, and that rainbow was still there. And it normally happens after rain. And, we're in a snowy climate here in Canada. So it was just really wild. So a rainbow is so significant, especially on this journey. Because it's telling you to follow your heart's desire and purpose and get to the end of the rainbow. And it's a symbol for celebration of that fulfillment. Absolutely love it. And the rainbow also signifies a pot of gold, and the magic that surrounds your dreams are coming true. Has much more powerful meaning to each of us, and gracefully bestows the energy of a blessing. The symbolism of a rainbow intuitively tells us to hold on to hope, to believe beyond a shadow of doubt that sacred blessings are open to us when we are following our heart's desire. Follow your heart. I feel like when we follow our heart, it opens us up, and it gets us to a greater place. It raises our frequency, it raises the earth's frequency, and many of us should be following our heart's desire. We always use our mind, and we don't use our heart. But if we used our heart more than we used our mind, we'd live in a much better place. I love that so much. Another thing that, crazy happened was we had some kind of slush, rain, snowy storm yesterday. And my son and I, my throat again, so there's communication coming. I have that written down. My son and I were outside shoveling, and these doves were circling us. And it wasn't just one, it was like a few. And it was like they were flying in, and like it was weird, like they were really circling us. And my son took note of it as well. And a dove is very significant. It represents so many things. I'm just going to go back to my notes here for a dove. Sorry, just gotta find it here. Okay. It means ascension, communication, devotion, gentleness, grace, holiness, hopefulness, love, maternal, messenger, mothering, peace, promise, prophecy, purification, sacrifice. So many of you are in the ascension process of this journey. And that is part of this journey, is to get to the ascension, to be the higher sense of yourself. This is just a reminder that you're doing the work, and you're doing amazing, and I'm proud of both. Both the divine masculine and the divine feminine are absolutely doing the work. You've awakened and you're ascending. And I'm so, so proud of both of you. So that's just a reminder. And then also too, when I was shopping yesterday, I was buying a gift, and ironically it was in a Canadian store, which is kind of funny. But I was buying some Canadian gifts because they were very well made. And I just want to show you this right here. See this? It came in this bag. And like, I don't know, like I always get signs and syncs. And these signs and syncs are messages that I need to deliver to you. Now, what are the chances of getting this bag? Like from, this particular store. It's a beautiful, beautiful red cardinal. And red cardinal is, very significant. Like I said, they come in different varying forms, but I believe these messages are messages that I need to give to you. And it says, what a cardinal means is be clear with your intentions. They're there to remind you to be careful what you are manifesting, and make sure you are aware of what you are manifesting. They also represent compassion, destiny, energy, focus, grace, intentions, intuition, leadership, love, nobility, passion, power, pride, renewal, respect, security, stability, strategy, survival, and vitality. Very, very good messages. Rainbow, doves, cardinal. I love that rainbow. I love that rainbow so much. Like, it's just crazy, the stuff that happens, And the rainbow, I think, is like the best thing I've seen on this journey. And as a messenger, I believe that's the best, because it's such a blessing to see that. And it's a blessing to see it because there was basically no reason for this rainbow. There was no rain, there was no nothing. It was like a cluster rainbow. Like it was just crazy. I wish I could have gotten a picture of it. I really do. So I'm going to go over a few things, a bit of the energy over the last 24 to 48 hours. I'm feeling good about things now, but in the last 48 hours, there's been some crazy energy. There's been some, and you get the residual of the full moon days after and days before. And this full moon, there's been a lot of endings in karmic relationships, karmic cycles, um, lessons being learned. There has been a lot of endings, which is phenomenal. Okay, so I'm going to go over some of the actual feelings or energies that I've kind of channeled over the last 24 to 48 hours. So I've felt the fear, and there's a couple of things going on with the fear. This fear is primarily divine masculine based. As many of when I've said a lot of these divine masculines, they run from this journey, this sacred journey, this blessing, out of fear, because you go in and you open up wounds that they're not ready to heal. And at the end of the day, they're not running from you, they're running from themselves, because they just don't want to heal those wounds. But they have. They've cleared the karma. They've gotten rid of people that no longer serve them. They are done. They are done with all the toxic elements in their life. The only element of fear that they have is moving forward. They know that that they know what this is. They know that you're absolutely their twin soul. You're a fated connection. And they knew that from the moment they laid eyes on you. But they are having that element of fear of moving forward. And that primary stems because of the hurt that they caused. It was intentional. When they left, they didn't just wake up and say, I'm going to hurt my DF today. They ran because of themselves. And now they have to face the fear of the hurt, because they never meant to hurt you. That was never their intention. Their intention was to grow, awaken, and ascend. That's why you come into each other's life. You come in to heal each other, open those wounds. And, the DM went to heal those wounds. There was wounds from, previous karmics that broke their heart, family wounds, inner childhood wounds. You come in and you open those wounds and that inner child. And some of us may say, well, I didn't have any inner childhood wounds, or I've healed those inner childhood wounds. You haven't. Because if this person comes into your life, they're absolutely there to help you heal that inner child. And, you may think you're healed, but you're actually suppressing your inner child. You're not healing your inner child. It's very, very important to heal. You have to get to a state of childlike being, if that makes any sense. Because a child loves unconditionally, freely, has no conditions. And that's why we need to heal that child, because we need to get back to that place. That's when our ego dies. And, that's another ending, with this full moon, is the ego is dying. And the ego no longer, it's starving. You're starving that ego. And it's absolutely profound. And all of this with the ego dying, so much is associated with it. There is fear. There is sadness. There is confusion, and there's anger. And that is your ego dying. And you have to undergo an ego death. Absolute ego death in order to evolve forward. And sometimes, if you're not evolving forward, it's because your ego hasn't completely died. And the desire to be with each other, that's part of the ego as well. You just have to have faith, and you have to have trust, and you have to believe, and you have to trust your inner guide. I always tell you to trust you. Trust your gut. And only you can, decipher whether you're on this journey or not. No one can tell you. I can guide you. I can tell you where you are, and I can help you. But there's no way I can ever tell you if this is truly your journey, because that comes within yourself. So there's been a lot going on with the ego in the last 48 hours, and it is tough to say goodbye to that ego, because the ego within us always wants to win. It always wants to win. If somebody says something to you negatively, you automatically want to rebuttal. That's your ego, right? when you get to a point of unforgiveness and, or sorry, for unconditional forgiveness and unconditional love, your ego is gone. And you pray, and you just love unconditionally and forgive unconditionally. And loving unconditionally is loving without condition. So, if if you say to yourself, and I read the comments, I read all your emails, and I wish I could respond to all of you, but I can't. I work full time, and there's just not enough hours in the day. But you say you love unconditionally, but then you're putting conditions, saying, well, he hasn't come, he hasn't done this, he hasn't done, or she, whatever it is, it's just energy. Then you're putting a condition. You're putting a condition on that love. You have to remove all conditions, and if you don't, you will not end up in the physical unity. You just won't. Oh, he hasn't knocked on my door. Oh, he or she hasn't communicated. That's a condition. That's an absolute condition. So you have to remove those conditions. And I said, adopt an attitude of gratitude. Be grateful for the abundance that you have in your life. Manifest the positive power of positive affirmation, right? Because the cardinal came in to tell you to be careful what you're manifesting. Be careful with your thoughts. Like I have felt the anger. I felt some anger, and I feel it on both the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So you're mirroring back this anger, and the divine masculine energy, there's pride. There's a lot of pride, and for them to move forward, it is, that, it's affecting their pride. But again, that's the ego, and that's the part of the ego that needs to die as well, right? It's terrifying to the divine masculine to have to face up to the hurt, because they never meant to do it. But divine masculine, the divine feminine knows this. They know that you never meant to hurt them, and they know that you had to do what you needed to do. So very, very, very crazy, and the sadness, there has been some crying. There's been, and that's for a number of reasons. There's because there's been karmic endings. There's been, and this is tough to say goodbye to, karmic partners that you love. You may not be, have that sacred connection with a karmic partner, but you still love them, right? You still have love. So it's sad. There's sadness there with these endings. There's also crying because of the healing. Look at, like, if you're still crying, then you're still healing. That inner child, believe it or not, you're still healing, right? You're not really crying for each other. You're crying for yourself. And you're crying and you're healing yourself. And once you get to a higher sense of yourself and you kill that ego, that crying diminishes. But as long as you're still crying, you're still healing. So there was a lot of sadness this weekend, but that's great because you're healing, and that's exactly what you need to do. And I'm very, very, very proud of you. Confusion. There's been a lot of confusion. There's confusion associated with this as well. The confusion is primarily the ego dying. The confusion is just, you're wondering what's going on. Your ego's dying. You're in the state of unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness, and you're confused. Is this real? Am I feeling? What am I hearing? You're hearing telepathic communication. You're feeling energy frequency. That is your ego, right? And that confusion has to die. Last Sunday was a very profound message for me as well, with that hawk sitting in the tree. And that hawk represents eternal life, intuition, and, ascension and a higher sense of yourself. Just believe in you and let the confusion die. And just like that rainbow, this is your sacred, like it says, your sacred heart. I'll go over it again. It says, in the symbolism of a rainbow intuitively tells us to hold on to hope and to believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that sacred blessings open to us when we are following our heart's desire. Nobody can tell you what your heart feels except for you. You know? So just follow your heart and have, have that heart chakra and keep it open. When that heart chakra is open and you share the same energy frequency, this is going to sound very bizarre, but your body shakes. Like it almost like shakes. Like you're shaking it, and that's because you're sharing that both your heart chakras are open. You're at a point of unconditional love at the exact same time. So you almost are trembling, because each other are having that unconditional love, and that is the most profound event in this journey. It is so magical, beautiful, and wonderful, and that's where you need to get to be. Okay, so we went over the confusion. I feel like there might have been some sleep disturbances, and I feel primarily both of the divine masculine and the divine feminine have been tossing and turning, and but some of it's been in a bad way, but also some of it's been in a good way. You've been mirroring back that love, and that's exactly what you need to do before you go to sleep. Manifest. Breathe in 4 times. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and get rid of all the garbage, and just manifest good, unconditional love. Another thing is I feel some of you are not nurturing your body, and you're not eating properly, and you're not taking care of you. And our body is our temple, and our body needs to be strong. And if our body can't be weakened, because if our body's in a weakened state, our soul's in a weakened state, our mind, our heart, and we need to be in a strong state. So you need to nourish your temple. Okay, I know it's hard, but just please, dreams. There's been a lot of dreams of both the divine masculine has been dreaming of his divine feminine, and the divine feminine has been dreaming of the divine masculine. And these are beautiful, wonderful, magical dreams. Dreaming of passion, just, kissing, hugging, seeing each other. These dreams have been absolutely profound, and there has been a lot of daydreaming going on as well. There's been a lot of nostalgia. Like I said, this weekend has been crazy, but I feel like it's a healing weekend, and I'm so proud of both of you. But there's been a lot of dreams, and that just brings me to a dream that I had. Yeah, I believe it was yesterday. Excuse me. I had a dream about my parents, and as many of you know, I feel like my parents are guiding me on this journey. And my parents were separated, divorced when I was 9 years old. And in my dream yesterday, and I've dreamt about my parents often, but I dream of them in, my mother in one dream and then my father in another dream. I never dreamt of them being together, ever, since they've departed. And my father, it'll be 20 years, and my mother, it's been 4. So I've never dreamt that. And yesterday I dreamt them to being together. And it was just really weird. Like, my father was laying on the couch and my mother was cooking dinner, and it was so strange. Because, like I said, I was 9, that was 41 years ago, when they separated and divorced. So to me, that message is that the separation, they're no longer separated, and that they're together in peace and harmony. And that dream meant that how long that separation is, they're ultimately together. And it was a message for them to give to me that you will come together. Because if my parents were together in that dream, you ultimately will be together in this journey as well. And as I said, my mother is a protector and my father is the wisdom. And they were basically giving me that message of protection and wisdom and them being together. It's absolutely profound, and I love that message so much. Went over the anger, nature. It's almost impossible to enjoy nature in Canada right now, but But I did try. I did go out and go out and walk for a walk in the freezing cold, because when you get out in nature, it just raises your elevation, your frequency within yourself. The sun, the sun is the most profound thing, and it is the most pure thing. And just getting a moment or two, minutes of sunlight on your body, on your face, will do you a world of good. Water is absolutely amazing. If you are truly blessed to have nice weather, oh my gosh, go by water, sit by the water. You know, sit on a rock. Just get out in nature and raise your frequency and raise your vibration. It happens naturally when you get out into nature. Absolutely love it. Love it so much. Couple more things I want to go over. There has been some distance between some of you in the 5D, which is the telepathic and the energy frequency, and that's primarily because the DF is standing in her power, and and just moving away and doing what's good for the divine feminine energy, and not getting caught in that prison of the desire and longing and wanting to be with the divine masculine. And the divine feminine has to do what's good by them in order for them to evolve, in order for them to move forward, in order for them to get to the higher sense of themselves, and in order for that ego to die. And sometimes divine comes in and blocks that, because the movement isn't going forward. But the divine feminine absolutely loves the divine masculine. It's just they're getting to their higher sense of themselves. Divine feminine, divine masculine, it feels the exact same way. Absolutely love, the love of his life. He knew that from when he laid eyes on you. And it's just a block right now, because you both need to do some healing. I love it. I love it so much. And lastly, and most importantly, forgiveness. We have to get to a place of unconditional forgiveness. The past is the past. The future is the future. We live in now. We only live in the now. You have to bury the past. You have to live in the now and live in the moment. And, not worry about the future, and just live in the now and bury the past. The past is there for a reason. It's there to teach us lessons, and we just don't go back there. We don't go back there. We don't look there. And the forgiveness is very, very important, because some of these divine masculines' behavior, I'm not going to lie, is atrocious. But what they did not do out of malicious intent. They did not. They are blessed kindred souls, and they did what they needed to do in order to heal, and they've done it. Like, they're there. They've got that little bit of fear. Divine feminines, you're there, and I'm so happy for all of you. And I wish nothing but blessings for you on this journey, and you're always in my prayers every single night. Each and every one of you are so precious to me, and I just want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart for all the love, the likes, and the subs. And for any of you that are waiting for personal readings, I'm about 2 weeks behind. I do work full time, and I'm taking some time off, so I'm hoping to get caught up. I have to work this week, but I'll be off, so I should be very, very close to getting these completed by the end of the week. And I really do appreciate your patience. And again, I love you all so much. Okay? Have a super night, folks.